Hello and welcome to the Daily Mill for Wednesday, the 15th of October, 2025. In today's Mill news, we start off with what happened this morning. Well, I'm going to tell you. 9:30 a.m. The Oxford United away tickets went on sale to all remaining season ticket holders, and they were gone within half an hour, which is no surprise given the meagre allocation that we have been given. It's quite the bun fight for the away tickets now. Yes indeed. Members, like if you're a member, you got no chance. Absolutely no chance. You probably have to try and get to an away game that no one wants to go to, but then why would you want to go to it? Well, it's the only one you can get a ticket to, sadly, there's a high demand now. We've got a decent football team, so comme ci, comme ça, that's how it goes, is it not? Now, moving on to this from southernnews.co.uk. They publish tomorrow, by the way. If you see it out and about, pick up a copy of the newspaper. So, Mill have no hesitation or fear heading into testing 3-game spell. Mill have no fear heading into a tricky 3-game spell coming out of the international break, Alex Neil said. The Lions play 3 games in a span of 8 days, starting their visit to Loftus Road to face Queen's Park Rangers this Saturday, before taking on Stoke City and Leicester City at home the following week. All 3 sides are currently in the top 6 of the Championship, while Mill sit in 8th. Neil is unfazed by the league standing of his side's next 3 opponents. I think it's been quite an odd season, though, because the teams that we're about to face, I've watched most of their games. Have they been usually better than a lot of teams that we faced? I'm not so sure. I think there's probably about 16 teams right now in the league that are all looking and thinking we should be there. So that's very little between the games. I think there's a chance created here or a mistake there that certainly decided the fortune of a lot of those matches. We certainly don't have any hesitation or fear going into those 3 games, and I think that, we're in a confident mood for sure. We're going to go and try and attack the games and get as many points as we can, whether we're playing at the bottom end of the league or whether we're playing teams at the top end of the league. At this moment in time, it's irrelevant as far as I'm concerned. Well, if you are a Mill fan of long standing, you know the idiom that we play shit against the shit teams and we play good against the good teams. And that has been persisting through many different squad changes and manager changes. It just is, it's in the Mill, it's the Mill way, it's in the Mill DNA. They'll turn up for the team that's top of the table when we're at the bottom, and they'll pull out a shock win. But you go to fucking the Dog and Duck Rotherham United, they haven't won in 85 games, and, you turn up and we get turned over 3-0. It's like, what the fuck was that? Yep. The Lions headed into the international break after a 3-0 win at home over West Bromwich Albion, a result that contributed to their confident mood. I always think when you win a game and you win in a convincing manner, to keep a clean sheet, score a few goals, and especially at home, it's always nice for everyone. The last week's been really good. We gave some time off to some of the lads, and we've had some tough training for some of the other lads coming back. We played a game in the house to make sure some of them get minutes. Quite a mixed week across the board, depending on what you've done and haven't done over the last few weeks. So there you go. We fear no foe. Here where we go. And talking of not having no fear, we have this from Massimo Luongo, BBC.co.uk. The programme on BBC Radio London today, their sport programme, I think it was heavily focused on Millwall. It's only like an hour-long programme, I think, and they switch between the different London clubs, and I think every month it gets to your turn, and this week it was our turn. So Mill midfielder Massimo Luongo says the Lions can beat any championship team on our day and believes the club can improve on last season's 8th place finish when they were pipped to a playoff spot on the final day. Alex Neil's side occupied the same position after 9 matches of their new campaign and could move into the top 6 with a win over Luongo's former side, Queen's Park Rangers, on Saturday. The Lions go into the game off the back of a 3-0 win over West Bromwich Albion before the international break. Luongo, 33, admits competition for the promotion places is fierce, but believes Millwall are well placed to mount a challenge for a spot in the top 6 come May. A lot of teams have more faith in reaching the top spots than I've experienced before. I feel like Millwall can beat anyone on their day anyway, and we don't make it easy for anyone. So as long as we don't go too far from that, plus with the help of individual outcomes and individual brilliance from players, we've got a really experienced manager, and I think why not? Mill have finished in the Championship's top 10 in 5 of the past 7 seasons. Wow! Claiming 8th place in the previous 2 campaigns. In May, they briefly led Burnley on the final day of last season before losing 3-1 and ultimately finishing 2 points below 6th placed Bristol City. Former Australian international Luongo moved to the Den from Ipswich Town in the summer and has made 10 appearances in all competitions for the side, scoring once. Mill had a number of injuries to deal with, and Luongo made 152 appearances during a 4-year spell at QPR. Believes Neil and the squad have performed well despite the disruption. The transition of relationships can create a little bit of mayhem, but if you've got a core group who are playing and are starting and have that leadership trait, I think that helps massively. It's important, and I think if you take them out of the team once, it's okay. But when there's such mayhem in the background with injuries and people coming in and out, you need some sort of core. I think the managers recognise that, which is it's a good thing, and we've gone through it well, as well. Yeah, so that interview, you can see the play button there. It's a 10-minute, 54-second interview. Obviously, I'm not going to play it now. If you want to listen to it, though, you can go to BBC Sounds, or it's on that website page, it's there, if you go to BBC Sport. But if you go to BBC Sounds and search for Millwall, there's 38 different clips to listen to, and the latest one is Massimo Luongo all about Millwall. So there you go. Or you can go to BBC Sounds, go to BBC Radio London, go to schedule, go to today's date, which is the 15th of October, which is Wednesday the 15th of October, and I think it's 6 o'clock, 6 p.m. To 7 p.m. The totally sport programme is just dedicated to Millwall today. So there you go. And obviously, because one of the London derbies in the 2nd division of English football is coming up. Millwall versus QPR, QPR versus Millwall. The other one obviously being Charlton. I don't count Watford. That's not in London. I mean, if you want to be stupid like that, you could say Reading are in London now because they're literally on the Elizabeth line. They're not in London. They're clearly not. So we got this. You may remember Gordon Jago passed away, I think a couple of months ago. I think it was in August. And obviously mentioned at the time, but nothing was really done per se. And they did say that there would be a big thing at the QPR versus Millwall game, which is coming up. So we now have some details of what's going to be happening. This is from qpr.co.uk. QPR will pay tribute to former manager Gordon Jago at our home fixture versus Millwall on Saturday. Jago also managed the Lions between 1974 to 1977. Sadly passed away in July. It was in July at the age of 92. We'll be holding a minute's applause before kick-off to celebrate Gordon's life, while both sets of players will wear black armbands. Hoops. QPR's official matchday programme will also be paying homage to Gordon on a day when we'll be joined by his family too. Club ambassador Andy Sinton said, Gordon's contribution to the history of our great club is there for all to see and will never be forgotten. We're looking forward to celebrating his life at our fixture versus Millwall. Once again, the thoughts of everyone at QPR are with Gordon's loved ones. Jago is widely regarded as the man who put the building blocks in place for our greatest ever side of 1975-1976, that's obviously this QPR side, to flourish. He joined the club as a coach under Les Allen in May 1970 before becoming our caretaker manager in January 1971 after Allen's resignation. A strong finish to the 1970-71 campaign saw Jago given the role on a permanent basis, and it was then that he really got to work. After a solid first full season, Jago brought in Stan Bowles, Don Givens and Dave Thomas early on in the 1972-73 campaign, and QPR won promotion to the top flight that year, and in 1974 we achieved our highest league finish at that point, taking 8th place in the First Division. Jago left the club in September 1974, but his impact has lasted to this very day. May he rest in peace. So there you go. That's what's going to be happening on Saturday. Obviously, this game is going to be broadcast on Sky Sports. So hopefully, they will show a bit of that stuff as well, and they'll bring that into the program. And talking of program, not TV program, print program. Remember that? Remember when we used to have a program and we could do stuff like this? Well, if you're not going to the QPR game, if you're not one of the 1,100 fans who could get tickets to this game, if you want to buy that program that's seemingly going to be dedicated to Gordon Jago, you can go to ignitionsportsmedia.com, search for QPR, and QPR, Queen's Park Rangers versus Millwall. And it's this one here, 18th of October 2025. Obviously, they don't have the cover yet. It's a pre-order. You can pre-order it and they'll send it out on Friday. So you won't get it before the game, obviously, but you'll get it the week after. And it's only £4, so 68-page issue. And interesting stuff. So there you go. Gordon Jago special, we assume. Queen's Park Rangers versus Millwall. Now, we're moving on again. Now, I've been telling you about the West Kingsdown stuff. It's been going at quite some speed, and it is picking up. It is picking up. They are doing even more stuff. They're going even further, even faster. They're trying to get ready. They want to do this. They want to start building in, what did they say, Q4 2025, Q1 2026. They want to start and get it on. So, we got this. They put this up on the planning portal, Sevenoaks District Council, pa.sevenoaks.gov.uk. Details of a community benefit plan and economic development strategy with respect to Schedule 1 Clause 2 and Schedule 2 Clause 1 of the Section 106 Legal Agreement for Application 22-01961 for a training academy facility for the following year. So this is a yearly one. Basically, to kind of improve conditions in the area, because I think it's like a working class area. So they want to keep the kids entertained and stuff like that. So they said, hey, can you do something here? And if you do, we'll give you the planning permission. So Mill Community Trust have been going down there. They've been doing stuff down there in the local area, and they have to every year they have to put out a report saying what they're going to do the year ahead and what they've done so far. And they have to do that. I'm not sure how long they have to do that. It might be like 5 years, 10 years, something like that. But yeah. So this has just been published 6th of October. But the 13th of October. But it just popped up today. So, and if we can look on. So here we go. Sevenoaks Community Benefits Plan, July 2025 to June 2026. So here we go. So this plan covers the period 1st of July to next year, June. For context, work on the construction of the training ground has been experienced delays primarily due to inflationary conditions in the construction sector. The failing Labour government. The failing Labour government. MFC is now in the process of discharging the pre-commencement conditions, and a start on the site is expected thereafter. Yes, what I've been showing you. They've been trying to, meet the conditions and get them approved so that they can start building. That they have, as it says here, pre-commencement conditions. And I told you the other, was it Sunday's video? I told you they have conditions that they have to meet before they can start the build, conditions during building, and then conditions after building or before they can move in. So there you go. Nevertheless, you gotta love it. Nevertheless, MCT has continued with its program of initiatives in the Sevenoaks district. The economic development strategy remains in abeyance until construction commences. Yeah, they can't really do anything about that, because I think the thing with that is I'm not sure if they're gonna try and give people jobs in the construction, but then surely that's down to the construction company that they do, MCT currently delivers football-centric programs within the district with full-time officers and casual MCT staff. The longer-term vision is to appoint a community development officer who will have overall responsibility for implementing the plan. So they haven't appointed. So they were advertising for that job, I think, and so they didn't find anyone for that. Now, this is interesting. As a stakeholder in the sporting corridor, MCT is working closely with the London Golf Club on the proposed Sports Turf Academy in West Kingsdown, which forms part of the emerging proposals for the London Golf Club. This would include the provision of community sports infrastructure. MCT is in dialogue with the London Golf Club about the prospect of utilising the facility to operate some of its programmes. MCT understands this project is subject to a live planning application. So here we go. So now that they've got permission for the Mill training ground, someone else is trying to get something else going. So it's going to be like a real sporting, like a massive sporting place. MCT has established a management board which comprises of representatives from the club and MCT with the ability for the council and or its nominees to attend board meetings. The annual plan is to be split into 4 quarters ending 30th of September, 31st of December, 31st of March and 30th of June. Bosh. A summary of activity since the acquisition of the training ground site. Regular estate league sessions at Edenbridge, Longfield and Swanley. Holiday camps with free food at 9 venues funded by the EFL. Free summer programme in 2025 of Kent County Cricket at Sevenoaks Football Club. £5k raised for the cupboard food bank. Negotiations undertaken with the Football Foundation and Kent Football Association to secure £800,000 of funding for the reconstruction of Gamecock Meadow in West Kingsdown, but a decision was subsequently taken not to pursue the project. That's interesting. So that's behind the Gamecock pub, which is, I believe, derelict at the moment. Meeting with all local schools to introduce MCT and offer programs. So did anyone take them off of that? Charity giveaways to organisations, shirts, footballs. Matchday ticket giveaways to schools. So you may have seen some of those school kids at the games. What else? 55 football kits supplied to West Kingsdown for PE lessons. So I imagine that's one of the schools is called West Kingsdown. One is called New Ash Green, one is called Falcon, one's called Bertley House. I believe Bertley House is a private school that is literally next door neighbours to the new training ground. So that'll be interesting. Mentoring programme undertaken, participation in Falcon Jubilee event. Summer fun day with coach trip to a Millwall home match. Presentations to Swanley Youth Club. Meeting with local grassroots football teams. Matchday tickets for families using the cupboard food bank. Estate League sessions at 4 venues in Sevenoaks. Reconnect sessions. Okay. And this is the quarter ending the 30th of September. The following activities are planned. So I think this was published earlier. And this was published in July, and now they should have done all this by now because obviously we are at October. I'm not going to go through all it. If you want to read it, you can pause it and read it. I'm not going to go through it. We got to talk about mice. Okay, yeah. yeah, so it goes into detail about what they just said, about food banks and stuff and matchday tickets. And this is the one coming up. So this is the quarter ending June. No, hang on. Did we miss one? We missed one. Okay. So this is coming up to the end of the year. So this is what they're supposed to be doing between now and the end of the year. This is what they're supposed to be doing from the end of the year to Easter. And this is what they're supposed to be doing from Easter to summer. Coaching sessions, what was that? Holiday camps, NHS things about trying to give people vaccinations. Do you keep getting text messages about they want you to get vaccinated? It's absolutely bizarre. I'm not talking about, the big one, the famous ones, just like all kinds of vaccinations. They just bombarded me with text messages. So fucking hell, are they getting paid per vaccination? Why would you spam me trying to get me to come down there to get a fucking vaccination? It's bizarre, absolutely bizarre. Action required. Plan to be approved by the management board when established in Sevenoaks District Council. So yeah, this is the plan. They need to get it approved. Like I said, they have to publish a year in advance what they're going to do, and then tell them, and they say, yeah, okay, yeah, all right then. So yeah, here we go. This is economic development strategy is intended to maximise the opportunity for residents of the district for employment, skills, training and volunteering, and contribute to the objectives of the council's economic and employment and training strategies through strategies relating to. So what they do every now and then down next to the den, they have these job fairs. So I don't know if they're going to be doing something like that. They did a thing, I think, with Bosco about training and stuff like that, but that kind of thing. But it's saying they have to wait until it's been. This is Millwall FC expect to be in discussions with contractors following discharge of all pre-commencement conditions, which is ongoing. The club will ensure that these opportunities are maximised through the contractual relationship with the club and appointing main contractor. So yeah, they're going to say, hey, can you hire some local people when you're constructing the thing? Which is, so they'll be on I imagine they're going to be on a temporary contract, because you'll have your own staff, wouldn't you? I guess, but yeah. So, and this is, they have to monitor what they're doing and let people know, have you done any of this stuff? And because they have, like I said, they have to get signed off by the council. So this is the plan on the left, and then in the middle, what have you done about it so far? And then, comments on the right hand side. So, let's take it. So, Estate Football League within the Sevenoaks District, Hartley and Edenbridge. Estate Leagues have continued for the last year within Edenbridge and Hartley, with funding from Kent Development and Parish Councils. So there you go. There you go. There you go. Yeah. So, stuff that they've done, will be doing, what's going on so far, and various other stuff. So there you go. That's one of the conditions that they're still working on. Now, here's another new condition that they've been working on, and it's this one. Condition 6. Details pursuant to Condition 6. Mitigation strategy for hazel dormice. The dormice. We love the dormice, don't we, people? So, yeah, you can see it's dated the 29th of September, but they've just uploaded it now, fresh, because you can see here, date published 15th of October. That's today. That is today. So, let's have a little look. Map time. Time for a map. This is the footprint, the map of the new training ground. The huge new training ground that will be immense undertaking to get this done. Cool stuff. What are we looking at? Well, here's the key. Site boundary. Well, that's around the outside. In red, it's just, I think, a fence. In blue and green, that is retained native hedgerow, and it's going to be around most of the site on the east and the west, and a bit on the north, but not on the south really. What else have we got? New native hedgerow going through the middle. A big line of that going through the middle. Retain a new native scrub planting, that's at the top, and on the sides, and then down in the southeastern corner, retained and enhanced broad-leaved woodland. And then the blue boxes around the perimeter, they are what has been called on this sheet Dormouse Next box. That is next, N-E-X-T. I believe that that's supposed to say nest. Nest. So, someone's a bit Mutt and Jeff, because, or they used Jack TCP to dictate it, and they've written next. I don't know if that imbues confidence of some magnitude in the people that are doing this, if they can't get basic English right. But again, maybe someone was just misheard. Dormouse Next box. So yeah. Why is this so important? Why do you have to have a condition about the dormice? Well, excuse me, sir. Do you have a licence to be molesting that dormice? Well, yes, indeed, we do have. We have got a licence. Under the Conservation of Habitats and Species Regulations 2017 as amended, and the Wildlife and Countryside Act 1981 as amended, you cannot molest the dormice. You need to leave them alone. Leave them alone! Unless you have a licence. And we do have a licence, and here it is. It was valid from 29th of September 2025, and it's going to be valid until New Year's Eve 2035. So on New Year's Day 2036, you better leave those dormice alone. So yeah. What are we? It's quite the document. 9 pages long. The maximum number stated in the table below refers to the maximum number of individuals of the stated species that can be captured or transported under the terms of the licence, and the maximum number of resting places or breeding sites that can be damaged or destroyed under this licence. Maximum numbers cannot be specified and do not apply to disturbance activities. The activities permitted below must be conducted by the methods as specified under the terms of this licence. So we can only capture and transport 3 dormice. So if there's 5 dormice there, 2 of them are going to be able to get away with it, and we won't be able to touch them, which is weird. Now, maybe they've been down there, they've had a look, and they know there's only 3 down there. But here's the thing, if we don't get this done by spring, surely they're going to, there's going to be new ones. They'll make new dormice. And that's going to be a problem. And this is the thing. You need this license because it authorises acts that would otherwise be offences under the Conservation of Habitats and Species Regulations Act and the Wildlife and Countryside Act. Any departure from the conditions relating to this licence may be an offence under that legislation. Licence conveys no authority for actions prohibited by any other legislation. This licence can be modified or revoked at any time by Natural England, but this will not be done unless there are good reasons for doing so. The licence is likely to be revoked immediately if it is discovered that false information had been provided which resulted in the issue of a licence. And here are all the conditions, which again I'm not going to read, but I mean, damn. So here you go. Toolbox talk. That dormice are present. Measures that will be used to protect them. Good working practices. licensable activities and what they should do to dormice be found. Yada yada yada. Habitat restoration, enhancement and creation must be carried out within the same season or same calendar year as specified in the license. Single stage habitat removal in the active season with fingertip search. You have to use your fingertips to search for them. Quantity of habitat to be cleared. What's that? Is that? I can't read. I don't know how to read that. Is that? 0.55 hectares of bramble scrub and 0.0025 hectares of a single hedgerow. Estimated number of days 1. You have to go through fingertips. Where are the dormice? Because I think they bundle themselves up in like dead grass and shit. So they're like in little balls. 2-stage habitat removal comprises stage 1. Reduce the vegetation to 15 to 30 centimetres, and stage 2, removal of root balls. Yeah. Hand searches must be conducted prior to habitat clearance, unless approval has been given in writing. Vegetation clearance of above ground dormice habitat must be carried out using handheld tools only, unless approval has been given in writing. Otherwise. Yeah, look at all this, like, we're going down. This is an 8-page license. 8 pages. 8 pages. And here's what they got to do. The new habitat they got to put in. Here we go. They've spelled it correctly here. Nest box installation of 10. New dormice nest boxes to be installed. They spelled that wrong. But this is the license, so this is the license to spell that wrong. Installed on suitable trees, shrubs within the retained woodland. Okay. 1 to 2 meters above ground level. They climb trees then. They must. I didn't know they climb trees. Not being funny. If you put a dormice nest box in the air, what's to stop a fucking bird from flying in there and using it? And then they've got to monitor these boxes, and this is this part of the license and all of that, and it just goes on and on and on. And now they're even talking about getting the old C19 to avoid getting that from people to wild animals. Yeah, the bats. The bat in Wuhan. You gotta watch out for those bats. Make sure you don't have any dormice soup. And there you go. That's the end of that. So yeah, fun times. It's picking up speed. We're going at it. We're getting it done. And on that note, thank you for watching, and goodbye.